Hello and welcome back in my chaos of a workshop. I still haven't found time to, well, let's say I haven't found the motivation to clean up. Today we're working on my wife's Mini. This car actually gave us problems since the very first day we got it. We were lied upon by the seller from the beginning. First he handed us a paper with the roadworthiness certificate, which shows that apart from the front lights are going dim, no single problem on the car. We asked him if there were any prior damages. He said no, nothing, but you can see here on the rust, and if you listen, there was a back damage. You can see it from inside as well, and there's a lot of fiber filler inside. Also, they didn't do it well, rust is coming through, so this is the next project. What we are doing today is the whole rear axle is rusted through, even though the roadworthiness said it is fine. So I got the new used axle in the internet, and when I went to the roadworthiness here in our state, they told us there's no way that this car will ever get past unless I change the whole rear axle. That's why I bought this. And then the brakes front and back are also completely worn out. So I also have new brake disc for front and back. The brake pads and also the brake sensors. So we will start today. I will take you along the journey as much as I can, as well as I can. We will go under the car. I don't have a lift for the car, so I do everything in my service cellar. And yeah, I hope you can see with the phone. I'm recording with my phone well enough to see what I'm doing, and I will try to explain it in between. First thing we will have to do is remove the exhaust, because it's, I'm pretty sure it's in the way. And then I will lift up the car, remove the tires, start to remove the outer parts so that only this one is left and I can change this. So you're going to be part of it. I hope I'll be able to show you enough and you can enjoy it, or maybe even learn something from it. So first I go down and get to remove most of the planks here. Oh wait, this one I will leave, so I can place some tools here, and when I pass behind the car I will not fall in the hole. Cobwebs everywhere, of course. Dirt everywhere because I'm too lazy to clean up. But I seriously have to. Let me bring it down so you can see more from here. So this is the chaos around here. And this is the bottom of the car. Let me see if it helps. If you're on the light, yeah, I think so. So here is a connector which will open to get the exhaust separated from here. Then we have to open this here and here. And finally the cross beam here. You can see how this one is all rusted already, and here you can see there are holes inside the main axle. The swing arms are okay on both sides. Up here is a little bit surface rust which I will clean. The sensor, the screws look okay. The swing looks okay, but I will see, maybe I can sandblast it somewhere. I wonder where all this dirt is coming from. Maybe I drag it in with my own car when it's raining. The brake calipers actually look okay. They looks like they're made of aluminium, so no rust. But as I said, the brakes themselves are rubbish. So here are bolts, here are the brake lines, the sensors, brake sensors I mentioned before. They're actually all working, so maybe I'll just use the old ones, then I don't have to find out the wiring. This one is the ABS sensor, also works. It's actually technically the car is walking. Sometimes the reverse parking distance sensor is not motivated to work as it's supposed to. But yeah, we will see. It looks like the carrier here, they're both new. Also the bolts for it's new, so I guess they knew that shit is going on here. I will have to clean everything when it's out and then try to find a way to conserve it. Maybe put primer on it first and then spray with rust protection very well. But that is not the main issue right now. Then I have to see where these wires are going, because it looks like the wires are passing over the back frame. So I will have to get them off in order to get the back frame out. Here's one bolt, so this one should be quite easy to remove from this side. Yeah. Here as well. This looks like the fuel pump or fuel filter. No electric connection, so maybe the fuel filter. We'll see. It's not high pressure hose, so it's supposed to be fuel, not anything to do with the brakes. Yeah, let's get my tools down and then we can start. That looks like 17. I'll bring the whole set of ratchets down. And an electric torque wrench. No, not torque wrench. Yeah, doesn't matter. So as I said, first we start with the exhaust. Even though I never put this toolbox upside down, still manage to scatter everything inside each time. Where are you going? Here. And you are up here. So let me show you. This is the toolbox I use at the moment. I got it from our local car spare parts dealer. Quite okay with the price, less than 100 euros. And it has everything inside from 1/4 inch to 3/8 and 1/2 inch. And I actually bought it only because I needed one specific torques to open one specific bolt before. So let's see. I thought it was 17. Yeah. And what I also like, what I like very much, is that there are these long sockets in the set, which makes it easier to open something like this where the bolt is actually standing up. Okay, I don't want the bolts to completely fall down, so I turn them a little bit back. And this one, if I remember right, was 13. Let's see if I have it correct in my head. Yep. But that one I can't do with this. This is 3/8, so I need the other driver. I'm coming. Okay, these batteries are both empty. Should have a full one here. Or not. Maybe I have to use the ratchet after all. Okay, this battery still has some power. Now the bringing down of the exhaust is not an issue. The issue is usually to get it up in a way that it doesn't touch anywhere. The engine has quite some power for the size of the car, and when the engine revs, the exhaust moves. And here is steel body, above is steel body, here is body. So if the exhaust touches anywhere, you have this sensational, incredible knocking noise, which nobody needs. So these bolts I can get completely out and put them back in so that the knot doesn't get lost. Same here. Okay, the same, put it back in. Now the exhaust is only resting on this here now, as you can see. Now I have to get it out here first, because we have to get up. But I will try to release this a little bit, bring it down, and maybe we find a way that it comes out easily without falling down like it did last time. So we have this connection bar here, this connection bar here. You have them only at the Cabriolet. The roof, the Mini with the full roof, doesn't have it because the roof is actually holding this tension. At the Cabrio system, you have these additional beams in it so that the body of the car is more stable. And therefore we also have to remove more than at the full body car. That's the right direction. Okay. Okay, there is quite some rust in it which holds the things together. Let me see, here is the hole. Yeah, the bolts are inside open, so I will try to spray some rust remover through the openings directly inside on top of the bolts. Hope I can reach there. So let me see. This is penetrating oil spray. It's usually quite good. Don't want to drill these bolts out because I don't have new ones. One is already missing here, which I had to drill out before. And I don't really want to do that again, because then I have to get new ones. And at my previous checks, I couldn't find them anywhere. Even the BMW dealer told me that the car is so old that he doesn't see much chance in it to get those bolts. Apparently they only used that one car and no other one. So yeah, let's try again with this one. Nope. Okay, maybe I try with the bigger one. The socket itself is getting hot. Let me get some ear protection as well, because the bigger one makes even a little bit more noise. And I can already hear this one singing in my ears. Alexa, setze Alarm auf 17:45 Uhr.
Wecker gestellt für 17:45 Uhr.
So, I know there's still time, but since I'm working on my wife's car, she doesn't have one at the moment. And so I have to pick her up from work later. She works Saturdays. I usually don't, unless inside the house. So let's try maximum power. Let me see. These bolts are also coming out at the top, so let me spray them at the top as well. Okay. So the exhaust is loose here. I will now put one of my woods here to catch it once it's out here. So that's it. Exhaust is down. Now we can start working on the rest. Let me push the exhaust to the side. Just so that it's out of the way. Sorry for that. Hope you can still see everything. Now some other things are revealed, like here. There's corrosion. I have to clean it off. Let me show you here. Here's corrosion here. This one is just surface. If I clean this well, I have to bring the whole part out anyway, then I can clean it well. I'll go to a friend to sandblast it. My sandblaster doesn't exist anymore. But then you can see here, this is the part we have to change. And you can see here it's completely rusted through. They're everywhere, just parts falling down. Now where I don't know yet how this wire goes, that I can relax it, that I can bring it down. This one has to come out as well. These connectors from here back and to the side all has to come out, that I can bring this main frame out. Main frame has one connection screw here, one here, and yeah, then the wirings, the brake hoses and things. So up here is also 1 volt, yeah, this one, and then also this one again. This one I can get new because they are standard metric bolts, while this one seems to be fine thread, but I will see that later. This one is already broken. You can see this bolt inside here is broken. So yeah, let me continue, see how much I can remove today. At the moment it doesn't look like I will finish today. I don't really have hope for it. Of course my wife would prefer if I would be finished today, but honestly I don't see it. But let me see if I can turn this tripod in a different way here. It should be a little bit better for you to see, like this. I can still pass. I have to take care that I don't throw you down on the way. So first, let me. These actually look like standard bolts, 10.8 or even 12. High strengths, but in the same size, maybe a hex head, I would be able to get it, which should actually be enough then. I'll turn them a little bit back in, just so that I'm sure I put the right bolts back at the right position later. I think I even leave these ones here. Not that I mistake them later, because they have different lengths and don't want to fumble around and then maybe have to open everything again because I switched them. Now here I don't get around like this. This doesn't look too bad. Looks like they already glued something here. I'll have to sandblast it, or at least grind it off very well that the rust is gone, and then I can coat it, paint it, prime it, coat it, prime it, paint it to use it again. So even these bolts, even though that this whole thing comes out, I still put the bolts back here to later know where they were. So let me get the long bar to open the bolts on the other end of these two connectors. I will use a T-bar, and then let's see if I have a pipe here which you can use to extend the T-bar, just to get a little bit more torque on it. And I also have a torque wrench here which is longer, which already gives me a little bit more power. Let me use that first, and then I will cut one of the pipes down, because at the moment I only have full length 6-meter pipes in the workshop. So I would cut one down maybe to 1 meter, if this one is not enough. So let's see. Okay, the bolt is loose. Now next one. Ouch! Ouch! But yeah, it's loose. Ow! That was not what I wanted for today, but the bolt is loose and we can continue. So I will not take them out completely, just far enough to be able to turn it inside here. After all, they're coming exactly to the same position later when we put everything back together. Good. Okay, let me lose it a little bit more now. Better. Good. That is one thing. Then this one I already fixed up with cable ties, because the bolts which were holding it are already corroded through, or the places where the bolts were holding it. Actually, a lot of things here which are already loose, and there's no way to fix it back anymore, so I will use Sikaflex or something in that direction to just glue it, because you can actually hear all these noises while driving, which is not good. You. let's see what's next. This one has to get out of the way. You can get this out of the way. As I said, everything is loose anyway. And the back one as well. No? Yeah, there is actually still one bolt left which holds it. Nice. But this one is more or less loose everywhere. Yeah, okay, they are still there. It's only the plastic clips which are holding them in. There where they are connected with metal, it all rusted through. So I'll get the plastic clip. Oh, also, what I had to do in the first week when we had the car was all these connections where the exhaust is hanging, including this one, I had to change. They were all rusted through, it was all damaged. So yeah, I trusted the company which did the roadworthiness. I don't know, I was always thinking that you can trust the companies in Austria, that if a mechanic tells you this is the situation of the car, that this is really the situation of the car. But apparently not. Also, what is strange on this car is the tilt of the tires is way more than it's supposed to be on this car, on this particular model. And it looks like that this one are racing bars which cause it to stand out. But this here, where the arm is balanced, is not for the racing. So now, because it stands out more, so it's also more like this, which gives us more rolling friction and tire wear since we have the car. So I put it as neutral as possible. I'm at the full limit of all bolts. So yeah, I tried. And maybe I have to get them new. There are some which you can actually adjust here. There's a thread here. And you can adjust them in length to adjust this angle and the tilt angle. Sorry, I don't know how they are called in English, but I'm pretty sure you understand what I'm talking about. Yeah. Here's a little bit of rust which worries me. It looks like it's almost going through. I'll clean it up. Here on this side, on the other hand, it's good. Yeah, I will have to get a lot of chemicals to actually get the car back to work for another 2 years or so. This part, a friend of mine, as I said before, has a sandblasting machine. I used to have one, I don't have anymore. Since my divorce, all is gone. Since a few years back. That's like 8 years back. Everything disappeared. So now I have to build up my workshop again. But yeah, this has to come down so I can lose the cable ties for this wiring to get it a little bit loose. But what I will do next is bring the car up that I can remove the tires. And yeah, I will leave you down here in the meanwhile. I think you know how a car lift works. I don't need to show you, so you just wait here. Maybe I cut this part later out, or I'll let it go on time lapse when I stream it. So you don't have to sit here for 10 minutes slowly watching how the car is rising up. one right, then one left, if I find it. Here. My plan since longer to get new lifts, maybe pneumatic lifts or battery driven. But these two are actually doing a great service since, I don't know, 20 years. So I shouldn't complain about them. Or I'm actually not even trying to complain about them. As so far they served me well. So, right side is in the air. And we have lift off on the left side as well. Great. Let's hope that thing is not falling on my head. I can remove the tires. $17. Let me get my 1/2-inch driver. I like battery driven tools. When I had my first power wrench, it was air pressured. I was happy, much better than walking from hand. But always carrying that around the hose and everything. And on every job you go, you have to have a compressed. The battery-driven ones are just way easier. So, left tire is down. Quite heavy for. Let me finish the sentence. For alloy rim or alloy wheels. But there are those run-on flat tires. Means there is some extra rubber inside or something inside which makes them also walk almost fine when they're pierced. That's also why those cars don't even have spare tires anymore, because you can actually drive on with a damaged tire. On the other hand, I know too many people which would not even think of getting a new tire as long as the run-on flat tire is not running. So has his ups and downs. I also know people which drive for years with their spare tires, which are actually only allowed for the direct way home, but they will use it for months, even on the highway, which causes another risk again for other traffic participants. So it's not all good. Usually new technology is an improvement, but there are always people who will abuse it, and then the best invention can turn into a bad invention. So I'll try to get these two plastic clips out, then I can remove this heat shield. Oh, come on. Maybe I should start wearing glasses when I walk under the car. Would maybe not be such a bad idea. This one shows itself to be quite stubborn. Also, knocking doesn't bring much because it's in a rubber, so the rubber will just follow the movement. Alexa, wie spät ist es?
Es ist 15:49 Uhr.
At least we still have enough time. Yes, I usually speak German. English is my second language. That's why there are some words where I'll be second guessing myself if I pronounce them correctly. Maybe I should get the brake hoses here new as well. Here's the handbrake. That should be easy to remove usually. Release the lever, pull it down, press it up. Should work. This one should work as well. Should be possible to get it out without damaging. But since I opened this one anyway, it might not be such a bad idea if I get these two brake hoses new as well. I know this is not the next step of what I'm supposed to do, but this up there is getting me angry at the moment, so let me do some other small things just to, let's say, maybe calm down a little bit. Let's see if I can get this plug out without damaging anything. Maybe not, maybe yes. Very dirty. Okay, this one comes out anyway. There's another hole, Yeah, this one is in quite bad shape. Especially here, this hole is very dangerous because this connector here is actually holding the whole car stable. If this one was to break off, it might shift the whole frame of the car, even though that this is actually a frameless design. But I think you know what I mean. Yeah, that's me when I'm pissed off. So let me start to spray these bolts as well. These have to come out later. They have to come out in a way that I can fix them back again. I don't care now if anything goes on the brake discs, because they are going to be changed anyway. if I'm lucky, I don't even have to remove all this, and I somehow get this out by pushing this by side. But if I remove it, I will be able to sandblast it and coat it properly. So let me just spray everything which I think we have to open later. I guess that's the emergency stop, like when we heat up completely. Go through without breathing. Here, oh god, the tank is also fixed here and it's full. I'll have to put the wood here to hold the tank up. What I like is that this is stainless steel. On my Audi I had to change it twice already in 4 years, because at Audi it's just normal steel. Actually once I changed this and one the other, not both, not twice the same. But anyway, this is stainless steel, so that's way better. I would make more of stainless steel if possible, but it's a cost thing. It's not like Mini is a cheap car, so they could actually invest a little bit more. Which I was saying about my A6 as well. It's not a toy car, it's not cheap when you buy it new, and still it has a lot of issues which would not be if they would plan it better. Like for example, I don't know, the assholes bolt at the front suspension. In 90% of the cases this bolt breaks, even though there are a lot of mechanics say, no, I have my own way to get it out, and if they show the way, it still breaks. Anyway, I got mine out, but I think the former owner got it out before me, so let me see if I can push it in completely, then get a little bit oil on it. Maybe it comes out then. Yes. There's a saying in our dialect, it says Anschwung statt Gleichgel, but it's still easier if you lubricate. Oh, it means as much as use force instead of lubrication, and it's actually a sexual reference, but I prefer lubrication, at least at the car. Makes it easier to get things out when they are well, and in when they are well lubricated. Lubricated. So the bolt is inside this hole, so the way it looks like here, I have to get the tank out anyway before I can reach those two bolts I have to get out. So let me see if I can get these loose first. No, I want to get the star drive screwdriver, a Phillips 2. That's also something which is strange in the German language. They call a Phillips screwdriver. They've called a flat screwdriver a slit screwdriver because it goes in a slit, which makes sense. Straight slit, straight screwdriver, whatever you want to call it. makes sense. But at the star drive, they call it a cross slit. So why not just a cross? So this is actually just a plastic clip like this. It opens in the back by screwing in this part. I'm surprised. Okay, I talk too much. I just wanted to say I'm surprised that it comes out that easily, but on this side it doesn't want to. But it's out on this side. Of course, all the dirt accumulates on top of it. So I'm actually happy that it came down so far. So let me try to get that clip out. I will use a long screwdriver to kick it off. Then we just put in a new one later. Yep. So let me just stop the video here for a while. I stopped the video for a simple reason. Because sometimes things can happen and I lose the recording. So if I stop in between, then the recording, at least from the beginning, is there. So let me show you. Here's the clip. It's supposed to be like this, but it was worn out. So I used this screwdriver to hit off the head. Now I can hit off the rest of it and get it out. Yep, that's out. Let me put this down here. So let's see how this looks like. So we have a little bit rust here, which was exposed before. A little bit here, not too much. A little bit here, where the battery plus goes through, and here as well. So all this I will conserve with protection. First, remove the rust a little bit also. You can see this part here. I have to clean it with a metal brush. Up here maybe also a little bit. Yeah, definitely. Otherwise, it actually looks better than I expected. Yeah. In the beginning, when we bought the car, we were actually in the stupid belief that the car is a steal. The price, let me see if the camera is working. Yeah. And you still see everything. So for the price, I thought, it's a steal. Can't be much wrong with the car, especially that I seen the roadworthiness exam, which said that the car is in good to very good condition. And I just see here, it might even be possible that I get the bolts out from this side and don't have to remove the tank completely. I have to remove the tank bracket, yes, because the bracket is also fixed here, but I might not have to remove the whole tank to get through here if we are lucky. But all this inside is filled completely with rust, so this part is falling apart since years. What really made me happy when I seen the car looked perfect from the outside, no rust visible, nothing, because they just fixed the back. It even looked like freshly painted, which they did. And the roof was almost perfect. At the roof itself is around the roof, the seal I changed once, but that's normal on that age of car. So I was happy because I had another Cabrio before, not a Mini, but a Golf Cabriolet, and there the worst work I had to do was actually to fix the roof. So that was important for me, that the roof is watertight and doesn't give us any huge problems. So this and this is actually in good condition. I can open them, then I should be able to bring this out. Let's see if 9 works. No, it's a 10.